to everybody. Let me introduce myself. I'll be very quick, I promise. My name is Marco Pasquin. I come from Italy. I have a degree in management engineering. I come from Italy and I worked there for about 10 years in training and consultancy in lean application in the small and medium industries. So tonight I will guide you into an overview of the lean concepts. And I will show you how this concept will make your model more sustainable. Okay, so let's start. The first thing we want to show is what is Factory One. Factory One, I'm a new member of the Factory One factory here in Doha. Factory One is an industrial capability center. It's based on one concept. Which concept? The model factory. Model factory is a special concept to make train more usable for all the participants. The particular of this concept is that you have a shop floor that's available for you to test what you have learned in a classroom just a minute ago. So you have the lesson, you learn a lot of things, and after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, you can have a factory available to you to try whatever you have learned. These model factories are very rare. There are just a few model factories in the world. There are no model factory here in Gulf area. The model factory, Factory One in Doha, is the only one near you. The service we're offering is about build your capability. So you will learn a lot of things. You will learn a lot of lean technique to improve your business. What you can expect? You can expect that the first thing that more easy to afford is the 30–50% of improve of productivity. The productivity is not the only thing you will improve, but is the main one. Is the easy to afford, is the most one that we wanted because give you more money in your business in a very short period. So how can we do it? Well, there are a lot of services from a short one to very long one. The short one is just a target to make you feel more feel well with the concept of lean. So we have a quick overview, just not all the modules, just a few concepts, or you can do a very long trip with few months, and you can learn the concept and apply this concept on your business. We will guide you, we will coach you, not only in our factory, but also in your factory. So this is the offering by the Factory One. So we can start with the main core of this workshop. I will have about 45 minutes of lean concept, and I will leave you about 15 minutes of question and answering. Okay, hope I will interest you. So there will be a lot of questions. This is my hope. So we can start to an introduction to the lean basics. The first basics are the 5 principles that are very important for lean. The first one is to identify the value. If you identify the value, you can understand what your customer wants. It is not easy to understand this because sometimes you think your concept of quality are the same for your customer. It is not always in this way. Let me tell you about my experience. A few years ago, I had a big problem with a lot of company in my area near where I live. There are a company that makes furniture, high quality furniture. So beautiful kitchens, beautiful sofa, unbreakable. So when you buy one of these furniture, you will live with this furniture for your life. And this will be a good thing for a lot of years. But a few years ago, the market changed. The customer is not a person that wants to have the same sofa for all the life. The customer maybe could be a student, a university student. So they maybe change the apartment every 2 years, every 3 years. So they want to change the sofa. And they don't want to spend a lot of money. Our customers didn't understand this, and continue to produce high quality furniture. A lot of this company have closed because the market don't want this high quality. The company that survive have changed their behavior, create a new brand with high quality, with less volumes, and another brand with low quality but higher volumes. So the first thing you have to learn is you have to identify the value. You have to understand perfectly what your customer wants. After that, you have to map all your activities to understand what activities create value for your customer. A lot of your activity doesn't add value to your product. Your customer just want a good product with their quality. But if you have a lot of activities that don't add value to your product, you are just wasting your money. The main activities that waste value for you is the wastes. We will see the 8 wastes of lean in, I think, a quarter of an hour. When you have identified the value, when you create your value stream, you have to create the flow. What does it mean? You have to eliminate all the obstacles that stop your value. So waiting times, scraps, or a lot of motion. This is the third principle of lean. These are easy to understand. The last 2 are important as the first 3, but are a little bit difficult to understand. The fourth is to establish pull. A pull system is a system when you don't produce and you don't care what happens after you have produced. You produce only when the follow station tells you to produce. The first thing is you produce when a customer orders your product. This is the easy way to understand this concept. But it's not only applicable for the customers. Only inside your company, you can produce only when the following station tells you to produce. So if you work in the other way, like push system is the opposite of the pull, you produce as much as you can. You don't care what happens after. You produce, and you create a lot of inventory, a lot of motions, a lot of waiting times. The problem with the pull system is that sometimes you don't have the time to wait for the asking of your customer. You have to produce before because the lead time to market is very low. So we will see after how can we manage with this problem. The last principle is the continuous improvement. It doesn't matter how well you do one thing. There's always a room for improvement. You have to understand this is very important, this thing. You have to be better than yesterday, maybe very few, but just one step ahead. Okay, let's go ahead. To do these 5 principles, you can work on 3 areas on your company. The first area is the operating system. If you have a factory, if you have manufacturing, the operating system is the shop floor. When where you physically do the activity that create your product. The other one is the management infrastructure. What is this one? Is all the organization that you need to do the operating system. So an example is the KPI, the key performance indicator. You have some indicators that tells you if the path you are walking is correct. And the third area is the mindset and behavior. This area is very important because you have to consider all your employees or your team members. You have to ask them what they think. You have to ask them if they are happy. If you transfer one of the 3 areas, you will have some problems. Let's see what problems do you have. If you not consider the operating system, you will be a low continuous improvement. You will be not good enough to keep your company, increase your productivity every day. If you don't care about the management infrastructure, you will be a lot of improvement, but they are delayed because you don't know where you are going. When you take a decision, you don't know if this is correct or not, because you don't have a number that tells you your decision is good or no, it is a mistake. If you don't care about the mindset and behavior, you will be a resistance by your employees. You will have improvements, you will have fast improvements, but your employers are not happy, and so they try to resist to all the changes. One of the main problems of the lean is that the people resist to all the changes, but we need to change to improve. If we change, we can also make mistakes, but if we don't change, we cannot improve ourselves. So if we are in the position that we have to make our team members happy to their works, we have to ask them new ideas, we have to ask them how they will like to solve the problems, we have to train them, we have to take care about their skills, okay? So all the three areas are very important. Usually, the operating system is a lot of consideration. The problem is the other two areas, that a lot of people don't take care of these two areas, and they will lose a lot of money because they don't know the problems these areas will affect the company if they are transferred. Okay, let's go ahead. Just a quick overview of some techniques of the lean. The first one is the fishbone analysis. We can use it to solve the problem. How we can use it? The fishbone analysis help you to eliminate all the root cause, not the effects. So it will take a little bit more to solve a problem, but you will never face this problem again. If we don't use a fishbone analysis, we will solve the effects, but we will solve the same problems for all our life. So our thinking is just take your time, plan very well, and solve the root cause. So your problems is gone. You never face it again. Okay. This is a medium-term analysis, not a short-term analysis. This is a medium-term improvement. This is very important because you will gain more money to eliminate the root cause. The fishbone analysis is a base of the root cause problem solving. Okay. The second one is Smed. The Smed is a technique to reduce the changeovers of your production. The market requires less volumes, requires less lead times, so you need to have a lot of changeovers, a lot of setups. With the Smed technique, you can do it quickly. Okay. It is a technique invented in Toyota about 7 years ago, and the situation before this technique is a setup, is a changeover. The duration of the changeover was 2-3 days. The Smed means that you have to do the changeover in less than 10 minutes. So with a quick improvement, you will go from 2-3 hours, 2-3 days to a few minutes. It's very important with the market in these days. The third technique that I will show you is the just-in-time. The just-in-time will reduce your lead times and will reduce your inventory. These both characteristics are very important because usually they are one versus the other. So with just-in-time, you can do a pull system, as I explained before, without the problem of the pull system. So we can reduce the lead time. We have less inventory. We have the quick response to the customer needs. Fourth technique is 5S. 5S is a technique to have your workplace in order, your workplace clean and to have less wastage. In a clean workspace, you work very well, you work better, their employees are very happy, you have less injuries, you have less quality problem, you have less wastage of time to find some tools because you have all the tools that you need in a specific place, and you work a lot better. It's a simple technique. Is usually is the first one we can introduce in a company because it's not expensive. It's not a long-term technique. You can have improvements in just a couple of days. You will saving about new tools. You have saving about less of time. So I will suggest to consider this technique. The last one is a TPM and is focused on maintenance. So if you have a problem with the maintenance, we have a lot of downs on your machine. This is a technique you have to consider. It's a quick overview. There are a lot more techniques. I just mean to have a quick view for you. Okay, I talked before about the wastes. The lean tells you there are 8 wastes. It doesn't matter what kind of production do you have. You have always these 8 wastes. The first one is the overproduction. So overproduction is when you produce more than you need or too far in advance. Why this is a problem? This is a problem because with overproduction, you create another one of the wastes. I made a jump to waste number 3, to stock. When you have a lot of stock, when you have a lot of inventory, it will cost you a lot. You have a financial cost, you have a space cost, you have a risk of obsolescence. Your good may not be good in the market. If you sell food, an example, also if you sell steel, maybe the design is not good, maybe the market have changed trends. So create a lot of inventory is a very big problem in the companies. The number 2, the waste number 2 is transportation. So when you move your good through your factory, you are making a waste. Sometimes there is a transportation that is not a waste. But this time, this special case are only if you sell transportation. If you drive a taxi, your transportation is good for your business. If you have a cruise company, maybe, or if you have trucks and you move the goods for your customers. But in our factory, never a transportation is a good thing. It's always a waste. When you have wastes, that doesn't mean you have to make them 0. You will always have a little wastes, but you have to reduce them every day because this is the activities that don't add value to your product. You remember at the beginning of this session, I tell you, you have to understand which activities add value to your product. The wastes never add value to your product. Maybe can create scraps. If you transport something and it fall down, it will be broke. So you have to avoid transportation. The waste number 4 is waiting. Waiting is when you wait for the goods, when you wait for the material, when you wait for some information. It could happen that when you are waiting, you do something else, not wasting time. But this is a problem too, because you have to reset your brain. It's more stress part of your work. So if you are able to eliminate waiting times, the work will flow very better. Okay? 5, the 5th waste is the overprocessing. This is very hard to understand because the overprocessing a lot of times is to create more quality than the needs of our customer. And sometimes in your company, create more quality means create wastes for the customer, internal customer. So let me make an example. If you give a draw to your technicians, and there are a lot of quotes, more than he needs, he may read the wrong quote. He may spend some time to understand which quote is good for him. Another example is when you have the boarding card on the plane. There are a lot of information. You have to search for the seat. You have to search for the gate. You need time. When you have more quality than the customer wants, or you spend money without the happiness of your customer, or you spend money and you make sadness of your customer, the worst thing. Waste number 6, defects, but easy to understand or rework on, or defects, the principle that we want to make the product good at the first time. When we have to rework, there are a lot of cost. When we have a defect, there are a lot of cost. So we want to avoid this. I don't spend many time on this waste because it's easy to understand. Number 7 is the motion. A lot of motion means a lot of scraps, means a lot of wasting time. So you have to understand which motion is necessary through your process and eliminate the other. Sometimes we create a motion voluntary. Why? Because when you have an operator that is still for 7-8 hours, it can be ill. So we decide to have a motion, we decide to have a waste to avoid some problems in the future. But we have decided to have it. If we don't decide it and we have it in the same way, it's not a good thing. The central part, the central waste is the intellect. When you have some people with a good idea and you don't take care about him because there's no time, you are busy. Or when you have a people with a lot of skills and you make him do some very easy tasks, he will be not happy. He will be resistant to ever improve. So the central part, this waste is very, very important to take care. Is the more underestimated. So I will suggest you to take particular care to this waste. Let's go ahead. I will show you what means to improve with an easy way, in an easy way, and to reduce wastage. We have the before situation with a lot of material not in order, and we create a simple shelf for this material. What happened? Happened that we will use less time to take the material, to search the material. We need less time to understand if we have that code, if we had which quantity we have of that material. With a very easy improvement, you save a lot of time. And also, it's easy for the it will less effort. It will be less effort to pick the material. So in this case, we have considered the operating system, and we have considered the mindset and behavior, because we are taking care of our operator, because we are doing him less effort to make his work with the same result for us, better result for us, less wastage. Okay, let's go ahead. When you do this transformation, this lean transformation, what do you expect in terms of improvement? The first one is the productivity. The goal of every company, the first goal is to increase the productivity. You can expect 30 to 50% in a few months. But it's not the only way you have to consider. You have to consider also the reduce of the lead times. You will deliver the material very quickly, very faster than before, with a lot of satisfaction by your customers. And also, you will need less space because you are more ordered. You will throw the obsolete material, and on the quality part, you will reduce your scraps. Other things that is very, very interesting. These are the importance of this transformation, and this is what you can expect. So you can make some account and you can consider how much money you can gain from a lean transformation. We can go ahead and we will focus now in two techniques that I mentioned before. The first one is the performance management. You remember about the infrastructure, one of the main points is the performance management. Why this is important? Because without a number, you don't know where you are going. You don't know if your decision is good. So the consequence is that you will take only easy decisions because you are afraid to make mistakes. If we have an indicator, you made a mistake, and we have an indicator that after 2 or 3 days tells you, no, this is not the correct way, you have to change, you will not be afraid to test something because you will lose a few money, you will lose few time. The more indicators you have, more of this thing you can afford. The other way is if you have a lot of indicators, you need a lot of time to manage them. So you have to balance these two aspects. So you have to consider about 5 indicators, not more, so you can have all the information that you need, and you can have the correct time to manage this indicator. Just one suggestion. If you create an indicator just to know something, but you don't have any decision based on this indicator, you will not have this indicator because it's too expensive. The indicator is very important to make the decision, not just to know something. Because create an indicator cost time is an activity. So you will need to make a decision about it, okay? And with the indicators, you will have a performance board, a visible performance board. I will show you an example of this performance board, and you will have a frequent performance meeting, very short in time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, not more, okay? But it's important to have this one to involve all your collaborators, or your employees, or your team members. What is the performance management? Is a set of metrics that is focused on your business or in your shop floor. It's not just a number with more meetings. It's a tool to make decisions. It's very important. It will define the goals, the timelines. It will define if the path is correct in a very short period. Okay? I told you about 5 types of KPI. These are the 5 types. You will have the productivity, you have quality, and you have delivery. I told you about these 3 for one reason. These 3 are linked together because it's easy to increase one of these indicators, but you have a bad impact on the other 2. I can have a very high quality, very few scraps, because I made a lot of quality checks. But this will lower the productivity, will lower the delivery. So the point is, if you increase one of these 3 indicators, you will have at least to keep the other 2 at the same level. It will be better if you can increase all these indicators, but it not always is easy. The other 2 indicators are the cost and the safety. Safety is like number of accidents, number of injuries. The cost is how much an hour cost, how much shop floor cost, or a good cost. Okay, this is a performance board. It's important to use colors to make more clear to all the people that go through the performance board to understand. Just think that an operator has spent 6, 8, 9 hours producing, it's a little bit tired. So it doesn't want to spend 3 minutes in front of a performance board just to understand what the indicators say. It has to be seconds. So the using of colors will be very good for this thing. The operator will understand in just 3 or 4 seconds if we are better than today. The first thing of the indicator is we are better than today, of the last week, of the last month. Okay. Do you have only this part on the central part? In the other parts, you can have your hourly performance, you can have a problem-solving session, you can have the immediate countermeasure, you can have the long-term solutions, you can have the skill matrix, you can have some process confirmation, Kamishibai board. You can create your performance board with a lot of options. We can go ahead with the last technique. It is the create of standard operating procedures. This is the main thing of the Lean, to create the standards in your company makes you work a lot better. The standard is a best way and the easy way to perform your activity to obtain your quality level, the quality level that you need to obtain. So I explain this figure. The standard is what make your improvement go ahead and not go back. Because the people natural wants to come back when they feel good. So if you have done one thing in the same way for 20 years, it's very difficult to change. But if you change and you improve, with the standard, you will not coming back. You will stay in this zone until you are comfort in this zone, and you can go for the next improvement. Okay? The benefits are several. You have all the operations in the same way. So you have more standard times, more standard activities, you have more quality, you have less stress for the operators, you have the easy way for the operator to learn something new, you have a big level of satisfaction by your operators. One thing with the standardization, and you need to create the standard procedures with your operator. You cannot impose to your operator the standardization. You have to ask them a contribution, because if you don't do it, the operator will not follow the standard. They will follow the standard just when you check it. When you look in the other way, the operator go to another way. Okay, this is an example of the SOP. As you can see, there are a lot of pictures. I will like to introduce a lot of pictures in the operating procedures. Why? Because it's very easy to understand by a picture. If you write a book, if you write a lot of sentences, the operator doesn't want to read all these sentences. So if you make some pictures, some videos, some schemes, it's very easy for the operator to understand it. Just let me make an example. The IKEA operating procedures make assembly furniture by the people that have never done it. They have never been trained about that. They just read standard operating procedures and they work on it. So this example is very important to understand what means using the pictures. You can add the sequence of the action to complete the activity. You can evidence the critical activities. You can put the standard time for this activity, so the operator knows in how much time you have to do the activity. So there are a lot of information you can, but the main important is the pictures, the visual part of the standardization. Okay, I will like to show you a quick video about a simple activity. This activity is to fold a t-shirt. Folding a t-shirt, it takes about 5 or 6 seconds. Okay, I will show you this video, and after that we will discuss about it. It is a short video, don't worry. Okay, this video is important. Why? There are two main concepts. The first one is, with a simple activity like that, there is a lot of room to improve. If you consider a 6 seconds to fold a t-shirt, this guy takes about 2 seconds, so it's 300%. So also for these easy activities, there are a lot of improvements. Just consider how complex are your activity. So the more complex is the activity, the more room for improvement there are. So don't consider an activity not possible to improve just because you are doing it in the last 10 years or 20 years. There are always different kinds of methods to improve your activity. The second one is the visual part of this procedure to let you learn quickly how to fold the t-shirt in this way. So the central part of this video show you a standard operating procedures do it done correctly. So if you see the visual part, you will learn in maybe 15 minutes. If you have not this visual part, you will learn just to see the video again and again, just the activity again and again. It will take hours, maybe days. Just one suggestion. Maybe some one of you will try to fold a t-shirt this evening in this way. Usually, everybody let it go. Why? Because we are confident to fold the t-shirt as we have done in the last year. And these activities are not an activity that we're doing for work every day. So the motivation is very low. But in the activities you do for work is a different kind. So I repeat myself, don't be sure that you are doing the activity in the best way. Just consider there's always another way to do it. Maybe it was the best way 10 years ago, 20 years ago, for the technology, for the customer requirements. But the thing changes, and a lot of things have changed in this period. So also our lives with the COVID situation, we had to change a lot of our activities during the day. So the world is changing very fast. So maybe what we had thought 10 years ago is not good enough today. Okay? In which area we can introduce the standard operating procedures? The answer is very easy. Everywhere. You can introduce to reduce the cycle times. You can introduce in your warehouse to standardize where you put the material. You can standardize when you create a code for your goods. You can introduce by a visual management to definition of the areas where can go the good parts, where goes the scraps part. You can create a standard for the training of your employees. You can create a standard with the information flow. with the Kanban system, with the quantity of goods that you want to move every day. You can create a standard everywhere. Don't be scared about create standard. Without the standard, the continuous improvement is not possible. If you underestimate the importance of the procedures, you will lose a lot of possibilities of your improvement. You will find a lot of solutions. You will be happy about that. But after a few days, you will do the things in the same way you have done in the 10 years before. So it's very important to concentrate in the standard operation procedures. The worst thing is that we are not able to afford the standard easily. Our nature, our brain want to create something new. So I tell you this thing. You have to be very creative when you make a procedure. But when you have made that procedures, zero creativity to follow that procedure. If you understand that the procedure is wrong, it could happen, you don't have to change in that moment, because you will improve only you. So you have to follow the wrong procedures. You have to create a meet with your team as soon as possible, and you have to change the procedure. So you can do the procedure in the correct way. Okay. This is very important. Usually the people change the procedure by itself, don't tell the other people that have changed it, so you have not standardization. So you have a lot of variety, and the variety is one of the biggest loss of efficiency in your companies. So it's very important to consider the standardization about a pillar of your company. Okay. If you have any questions, I will in time. I will stop sharing my presentation, and you can start to answer. If something is not clear, if you would like to deep dive in some argument, in some topic, if you just want to ask me in what kind can you apply one of these concepts in your company, feel free to ask me. Don't be shy. Usually the problem is with the first one. Okay, we have the first answer. I have made lean in hospitals just a couple of years ago. You can apply in different ways. The first one is, let me tell you, hard one. So it's the same as a manufacturing. You will reduce the quantity in your warehouses. You will reduce the motions. You will reduce the scraps. The other way is typical of the hospital services, is to map the value of your process. What I have done is to map a surgical operation, and we map from the arrival of the patients to when the patients have left the hospital. And we found that the team, the medical equipe, doesn't communicate a lot with themselves, so they do the things in more time than needed. They lost some information. Sometimes, very rarely, fortunately, they made mistakes because they missed some information. So this is the two ways you can apply. One in the same way that manufacturing, one in a specific way. The Lean Hospital is one of the new application of the Lean. It's pretty new. It's about 5 or 6 years that it's been done in the hospitals. Also in the hospital, you have a customer, no? The patient is your customer. And the scrap is very problematic if you do something wrong. We broke the ice. Okay, we have another question. The question is if someone wants to specialize in Lean concept in a short period, what will be the qualification to obtain? There are different paths. You can have maybe the qualification with the higher standard is the Six Sigma. There is a path in reducing scraps. It's a little bit long, not in a short period. If you want in a short period, you need, there are a lot of qualifications. There are a lot of training centers. One of us, our is one of us. We can do it for you. And the first one is that you have to learn the principles. And after that, you have to learn the techniques. Our work is to specialize in Lean concept and to let you obtain the qualification you need. We have another question? No? Okay. We have just an appreciation. Thank you very much.